It was almost morning when the snake people gathered at the mouth of the old tunnels. The air was cold and damp. Eli stood at the front, his eyes fixed ahead. The tunnels were built by their own hands, carved to move unseen under the city. They had been lifelines once, and now they would be their weapon. Eli knew some had been blocked by the hunters, walls collapsed, entrances buried. But he also knew the hunters hadn't found them all. The ones that remained went all the way to the gates of the castle, and inside the gates. The snake people smeared themselves with the sharp-smelling oil. It stung their eyes and burned their throats, but it killed their scent. The hunters wouldn't smell them coming. They moved in silence, no words, just the scraping of boots against earth. The tunnels twisted and turned, narrow and black as pitch. Every turn brought them closer. They reached a spot where the tunnels split. Eli raised his hand. Everyone stopped. He turned slowly, his voice low but strong enough to reach every ear. "Look at these walls," he whispered. "We built them." He scanned their faces. They thought sealing a few would stop us, but they forgot who made them. They forgot who knows them. They sleep in our castle. They drink from our wells. They laugh in our halls. His hand tightened into a fist. They think we forgot, that we fled, that we broke. But we didn't. We waited. And now, his voice dropped even lower, a hiss. "We take it back." He paused. "No mercy." They all nodded, eyes hard as flint. You are watching the Tales of the Savannah. Subscribe and be part of the tribe. Now let's get back to the story. Eli pointed down the tunnel. "Gideon, East Gate. You take your team there. Wait for my signal." "Yes." He turned, his warriors following, vanishing into the dark. Eli turned to Hannah. "West side, archers, the towers. When you see the signal, make it rain." Hannah only nodded once, her face set. She moved off with her team, silent as mist. Eli looked at Daniel. "You're with me? We go straight into the yard, into the heart. Ready?" Daniel swallowed, but didn't look away. "Ready." Eli gave a final look around. "Tandoro, take your places. Wait for me." They all moved. The tunnels split them like roots in soil, each path planned. The hunters in the yard were laughing, playing cards, smoking foul rolls of dried leaves. Their weapons leaned against walls, forgotten. They didn't see the tunnel doors slowly open behind crates and old barrels. Eli's team slipped into the courtyard first. They pressed to the walls, unseen. Daniel crouched beside Eli, heart pounding. He could see the hunters' faces in the torchlight, oblivious. On the east side, Gideon's team emerged, hugging the shadows behind carts and rubble. West side, Hannah's archers took up hidden positions on rooftops, bows ready, eyes sharp. Oil gleamed on the snake people's skin in the torchlight. The scent was hidden. The hunters didn't even sniff the danger. Eli watched them. He waited until every team was in place, until the tension was like a wire pulled tight. He lifted his hand, held it, then dropped it. Meanwhile, Cabo the Great lay in bed with Naomi. Naomi's breathing was slow beside him. He turned to look at her in the dark. Her hair spilled over the pillow like ink. He loved her, and he had betrayed her. He knew something was going to happen. During the council meeting that afternoon, he had told the hunters plainly, "We must be ready for surprise, expect it, plan for it." He had told them about the Centaurs, how they had agreed to fight, but deep inside, he wasn't sure they would come. He'd warned the hunters to train and plan as if no one would save them. Inside, Cabo shifted and tried to close his eyes, but his dreams betrayed him. He dreamed of babies crying in the forest, lost, cold. He heard horse hooves pounding the dirt, a horn wailing in the distance. He woke with sweat on his brow. He blinked, and then he heard it, a muffled scream. He shot upright. Naomi stirred, blinking at him. "Cabo, what is it?" He didn't answer. He jumped from the bed, grabbing his sword. Another scream. Closer now, he ran to the window, flung it open, and saw them. Snake people, dozens of them, slithering through the shadows, cutting down guards, setting torches to storage buildings. They were attacking from the east. "Naomi!" he bellowed. She was up immediately, grabbing her own blade. "They're here," he spat. "They're in the yard." She paled but nodded. She was a hunter. She was ready. Cabo sprinted down the hall, feet slamming the stone floor. He burst into the guardroom. "Blow the horn!" A young hunter snatched the horn from its peg, put it to his lips, and let out a long, harsh blast. It echoed through the entire castle. All at once, the sanctuary was chaos. Hunters stumbled from their beds, some half-dressed, grabbing weapons. Commanders screamed orders. The snake people were already inside the gates. Cabo ran back for Naomi, meeting her in the hall. "Stay with me," he ordered. But outside the door, Titus met them, sword in hand. "They're everywhere," Titus snarled. "It's an ambush." Cabo grabbed his arm. "Form lines, break them into squads. Don't let them get to the main hall." Titus nodded grimly. "I'll see it done." Outside, the clash was deafening. Swords rang on scales. Arrows whistled through the night air. Eli was at the front, his face a mask of rage. He was cutting through hunters like they were wheat. "Cabo!" he screeched. "Cabo is mine!" Cabo heard him. His blood turned to fire. He charged forward. Naomi stayed close. The battle raged. Blood pooled in the halls. The hunters were everywhere. Hannah and her archers loosed arrow after arrow, each one finding its mark. Below them, Gideon roared, hacking at two hunters, his fangs flashing. He moved with a brutality that was terrifying. Beside him, Daniel spun with precision, each movement a blur of death. "Push them back," Cabo roared, "push them back." But they were losing ground. Naomi was fighting at his side, blade slick with blood, hair plastered to her face. "Cabo," she gasped, "we can't hold them." He was breathing hard. Panic threatened to choke him. He looked around, eyes wide and desperate. The courtyard was a slaughterhouse. Blood pooled in the cracks of the ancient stone, black in the torchlight. His hunters, his family were falling one by one, screams cutting through the night air like blades. There was nothing he could do but fight, to the death, if that's what it took. He turned and saw Naomi. Her hair was matted to her face with sweat and blood. She swung her sword with ferocity, cutting down a snake soldier that lunged at her. Her chest heaved with every breath, but her eyes, those beautiful eyes, still burned with fire. Cabo felt something crack in his chest. He smiled, a sad, broken smile. Maybe he would find her again in the afterlife. A roar split the air. "Cabo!" Eli was closer now. Blood was smeared across his face like paint, his eyes wild, fangs bared. "Cabo!" he growled again. "This ends now!" Cabo wiped the sweat and blood from his eyes with the back of his hand. He tightened his grip on his sword with both hands. The leather hilt bit into his palms. He braced his feet on the blood-slick stone. He exhaled slowly. "Come on, then," he whispered to himself, voice low, ragged. "I have been waiting for this!" he roared back, his voice breaking with rage and grief. He watched Eli hiss, the promise of violence gleaming in his eyes, as he moved towards Cabo, screeching Cabo's name like a curse, like a vow. Cabo lowered his stance, teeth gritted. He felt the weight of every dead hunter behind him, the pressure of every living one counting on him. There was no running, no retreat. Tonight, he would fight, to the very end. And then, from the front gate, a roar unlike any other. A sound like thunder, everyone froze, even the snake people turned to look. Smoke billowed on the horizon. And then they saw them. Centaurs, dozens, hundreds, charging across the field, weapons raised. Their hooves shook the earth. Barakan was at the front, his black coat gleaming, eyes burning with green fire. The centaurs crashed into the snake people with terrifying force. Blades met scales. Magic pulsed from their weapons. Green light slashed through the dark. The snake people reeled back in horror, trying to regroup. Meanwhile, in the east, Gideon was a storm of violence. His serpent's tail lashed, cutting down hunters who dared stand in his way. He was bleeding from cuts across his scales, but he didn't slow. He looked up at Hannah on the wall. "Hannah!" he roared over the din. She glanced down, eyes meeting his, the heat of battle making her heart pound. "I'll hold the wall," he shouted. She nodded, but even as she did, she saw them. Centaurs, massive and terrible, pouring through the broken gates with flashing weapons glowing green. Her archers tried to turn on them. "Take them down," she screamed, but the centaurs were too fast. Their arrows bounced off armored chests. Their blades flashed like lightning. One centaur's spear struck true, plunging through Hannah's gut before she could even scream. Her bow clattered to the stones. She fell forward, gasping for breath, her blood steaming in the cold night air. Below, Gideon saw it happen. He froze. "Hannah!" His roar was raw. He turned, cutting down a hunter who charged him. Then another. But his eyes were on the wall, on her crumpled body. He staggered toward the wall, trying to get to her. But Daniel grabbed him. "Gideon! You can't—" Gideon's eyes were wild. Tears mingled with blood on his face. "Leave me!" he roared. Daniel held on, voice breaking. "We have to fight. She's gone. We have to win this." Gideon shook his head violently. "Go," he choked out. "You're Mambo's blood. You're the last. You have to live." Daniel's face twisted in grief. "Gideon, go!" Gideon shoved him away. Daniel stumbled, then turned back into a snake, tears blurring his vision. Gideon turned to face the oncoming centaurs, roaring defiance. He moved swiftly, fangs bared. Their blades met him. He fell on the stones, not even screaming, just breathing Hannah's name one last time. Eli's eyes went wide. He looked at Gideon, Hannah, and around at the carnage, his soldiers falling, trampled, cut down. He turned back to Cabo, only now he realized he was injured, blood pouring from a gash in his side. "Retreat!" he bellowed. "All of you, retreat!" The snake people began to fall back, dragging the wounded, hissing curses. Eli met Cabo's eyes one last time, hate and defeat warring on his face before turning and disappearing into the smoke. Silence fell over the ruin. Bodies lay everywhere. The ground was slick with blood. Cabo lowered his sword, panting. Naomi limped to his side, her face streaked with blood and ash. They looked around at what was left of their home. Then they turned as Barakan approached, massive and imposing. The Centaur King's mane was streaked with blood, his eyes like burning coals. "Thank you," Cabo said. "Do not thank us," he growled. "When she gives birth to your son, we will come." As per our agreement. Naomi went still. She turned to Cabo slowly, her eyes wide. "What?" she whispered. Barakan didn't repeat himself. He turned and led his warriors away, hooves pounding as they left the hunters behind. Naomi stared at Cabo. Her voice shook, filled with confusion and growing horror. "Cabo, what is he talking about?" He couldn't answer. He just looked at the centaurs disappear into the horizon. The sacrifice had been made. His soul ached with it. But the hunters were alive. Their home still stood. For now, that was what mattered. Zorro and Tendai walked through the gates. The smell of blood and snake people hit them hard. Heads on pikes, snake people heads. Tendai's stomach twisted. He turned away. This was the group that was slaughtered in the forest. Vusi's group. Inside, the castle was cold. Hunters whispered as they passed. But they didn't stop. They went straight to Cabo's office. Zorro knocked. "Come in," Cabo said. They entered. Cabo looked up, his eyes hardened. "Zorro," he said flatly. "Good to see you, and you," he added, voice like iron, staring at Tendai. Tendai couldn't hold his gaze. He looked at the floor. Zorro cleared his throat. "Cabo, I promised I would bring him back. He's here, ready to do right." Tendai swallowed. "Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry for leaving. I want to make things right. I want to marry Malaika. I want to be a father." Cabo slammed his hand on the table. Papers jumped. Tendai flinched. "Why the hell should I give you Malaika?" Cabo growled. "You run at the first sign of trouble. She was pregnant, alone, and you ran. Like a coward. You disrespected my house and my authority as the head. Tendai opened his mouth, then closed it. His lip trembled. "Say it," Cabo barked. "Say why you ran." Tendai's voice cracked. I saw death. A hunter died. It broke me. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't breathe. I just ran." Cabo's eyes flashed. "You think you're the first to see death?" His voice shook with rage. "We all see death. We bury our brothers and sisters. But you abandoned her. A man who leaves his pregnant woman has no honor." Silence. Zorro looked pained. Cabo turned on Zorro. "And you? Where's your son? He should be here too." Zorro's jaw worked. He wouldn't meet Cabo's eyes. "Cabo," his voice cracked, "he's untethered." Cabo fell silent. He blinked slowly. His face fell. "Untethered." His voice softened, low and sad. Zorro nodded, voice thick. He couldn't handle it. In the forest. He just let go. Cabo's eyes misted. He closed them. "Damn," he whispered. He ran a hand over his face. "Sia was one of our best." Untethered was what hunters called it when a hunter's mind broke. It happened when they experienced deep grief, shame, or guilt, like losing someone in battle, failing their people, or seeing too much death. When a hunter became untethered, they couldn't think straight anymore. They forgot their purpose. They couldn't fight or lead. They would wander into the forest alone and never come back. It was like their soul snapped. Some went mad and saw ghosts of the people they lost. Others just walked and walked until they died. It was rare, but it was known. Hunters spoke of it with fear and pity. Being untethered was seen as the goddess taking their mind away because they couldn't carry the burden anymore. And once it happened, there was no guarantee they would ever come back. "I'm sorry, my friend," Cabo said, voice hoarse. Zorro nodded. His eyes were wet. The room was heavy. Finally, Cabo looked at Tendai again. His voice was quieter and less sharp. "While you were gone, another young man stepped up." Tendai's head snapped up. "His name is Mandla." Tendai's fists clenched. "He asked for her hand. He knows she's carrying your child and he doesn't care. He wants her anyway." Tendai was shaking. "He's always wanted what's mine," he hissed. Cabo slammed the table again. "Yours?" he roared. He looked at Zorro. "Your grandson disrespects me." "My apologies, old friend. He is young. Forgive his ignorance." Silence. Cabo leaned forward. His voice dropped low, dangerous. If she were wise, she would choose Mandla. Tendai's eyes were wet. "I love her," he whispered. Cabo's voice cracked. "Then you should have stayed," he growled. "You should have been here." Tendai couldn't breathe. Zorro put a hand on his shoulder. Cabo sighed, voice low. "If she chooses you, I'll bless the union," Cabo said. Tendai nodded. "Now get out." Zorro and Tendai turned to go. Cabo's voice followed them. "And Zorro," he called. Zorro paused. "I'm sorry about Sia," Cabo said softly. Zorro's voice broke. "Me too," he rasped. They left. Tendai's whole body shook. Rage, shame, fear. He needed to see Malaika. Now. There was a knock on the door. Malaika's heart skipped. She felt a rush of warmth in her chest. She bit her lip, fighting back a shy smile. It must be Mandla. He had been so persistent. Even after she told him she needed time, he still came by. He always checked on her, asked if she had eaten, made sure she wasn't alone. She liked it. She liked him. Mandla was patient, gentle, but firm in what he wanted. Her, even now. Even like this. She was starting to see him as possible, a real choice. She smoothed her hair quickly, feeling that flutter of anticipation. She opened the door with a smile, but then her smile fell. It wasn't Mandla. It was Tendai. Her eyes widened. She froze. Her heart dropped like a stone. For a moment she couldn't even speak. He saw the change in her face, and it hurt. Their eyes met. Neither of them spoke at first. He smiled, just a little, the way he used to when he tried to tease her. Were you expecting someone else? She didn't answer. She gripped the door tighter. What are you doing here? He tilted his head, voice low. Is that how you greet the father of your child? Her face went red. She snapped back, voice trembling. I'm unwed, Tendai. A man shouldn't be in a woman's room unless he's the father of her child, he finished for her. He stepped forward, trying to come in. She pushed back. No, unless he's married to her. He lowered his voice, softer, pleading. Let me in, Malaika. Please. She hesitated. She didn't want to, but she stepped back. He closed the door behind them. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. She turned away from him, hugging herself. She didn't want him to see her shaking. He walked up behind her, slowly. He wrapped his arms around her waist. She felt his warmth. Her eyes welled with tears, but she pushed his arms away, hard. Tendai, stop. He was quiet. Then he spoke. I heard Mandla asked for your hand. She flinched. Of course he knew. Yes, she whispered. He stepped in front of her, eyes burning. And you're considering it? Yes. She didn't hide it. She let the word hit him. I'm considering it seriously. He looked like he'd been punched. Why? His voice cracked. Why, Malaika, how could you? Her lip trembled. She swallowed hard. Because he's been good to me, she said, voice growing stronger. Because when I was broken, humiliated and alone, he was there. She met his eyes. Tears were falling freely now. He offered me a home, Tendai. He offered me dignity. He treated me like I still mattered when everyone else whispered behind my back. When you... She choked. When you left. He shook his head. No, Malaika. She cut him off. You left me, Tendai. Alone. Pregnant. With no one to defend me, no one to comfort me when I cried myself to sleep. He reached for her, voice ragged. I'm back. I'm here now. Let me fix this. Let me fix us. She stepped closer, stabbing him with her words. Your grandfather had to drag you back. You didn't choose to come back for me. You were forced. You think I want that? A man who only comes back because he's cornered, who only loves me because he has no other choice. He tried to speak, but she didn't let him. I want someone who knows his mind, who would fight for me without being told, who would have stayed. He was shaking now, broken. Malaika, I love you. I will never leave again. She wiped her tears with shaking hands. I don't believe you. Her voice broke. I'm not that naive girl anymore. I can't be. I've had to grow up, Tendai. Silence. He dropped to his knees in front of her. He reached for her waist, gently, like she was fragile, like she was all he had left. Please, don't do this. Don't give my child to another man. Give me a chance to prove myself. Her heart shattered. She wanted so badly to hold him, to tell him she loved him and it would be okay. But she stepped back, letting him fall. She shook her head, tears running down her face. You need to leave. Her voice was soft but firm. You've been here too long already. People will talk. I won't have my name stained again. He stayed there on his knees, trembling. But finally he stood. He wiped his face roughly. He didn't look at her as he opened the door. Mandla won't win. You are my family. You carry my blood, and I'll fight for it. He stepped out, closing the door gently behind him. She collapsed onto the floor, sobbing, hugging her belly, whispering apologies to the child inside her. Tendai left Malaika's quarters with fire in his chest. There was no doubt in his mind where he had to go. He was going to find Mandla and speak to him like a man. No, confront him like a man. The path to the training grounds felt shorter than usual, his legs carrying him faster than his mind could catch up. He didn't hesitate, he didn't knock, he didn't pause, and there he was, Mandla, shirt off, muscles slick with sweat, sparring with another hunter. He turned. He saw Tendai. Their eyes locked, both of them stopped breathing. A silence passed between them, heavy, loaded. The other hunter stepped back. He knew better. Everyone at the training ground did. You don't stand between Tendai and Mandla. Not now. Tendai walked forward, slow and deliberate. His eyes were dark. His fists were already clenched. "Stay away from Malaika," he said, voice low but thick with thunder. Mandla gave a dry, smug laugh. "Or what?" They were standing close now, the air between them sizzling. "I'm back now," Tendai growled. "You don't have to pretend to be the hero. Malaika and my child are my family. You're trespassing." "Well, that's not what she said when she was crying in my arms," Mandla replied calmly, eyes gleaming with wicked amusement. "In fact, I went straight to Cabo, and he said the decision is hers. So, unless your name is Malaika, Tendai, I don't owe you a damn thing." Tendai's jaw clenched. Mandla leaned in, voice dropping, sharp like a dagger. "And judging by the way you're foaming at the mouth, I'm guessing she's really considering my proposal. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here barking like a wounded dog." The words stung. They circled each other. Tendai's hands shook with rage. "What do you even gain from this?" Tendai growled. "You've always envied me, always trying to take what's mine. You will always be second best, Mandla. You're not doing this for her. You're doing it to hurt me." "No, Tendai," Mandla snapped back, eyes blazing now. "I'm doing it because, unlike you, I actually love her. I see her. I respect her. While you were busy running into the woods, playing ghost, she was breaking. I was the one helping her pick up the pieces." Tendai's breath came in hard, fast. "You took advantage of her," he hissed. "She was alone, she was hurting, and you—" "I stepped up," Mandla roared. "You think I waited years just to take advantage? You never wanted her. She spent years chasing you, everyone saw it. You just tossed her aside until she ended up in the forest with you, and you couldn't even do right by her after that." They were chest to chest now, breathing hard, faces inches apart. People were gathering, whispering. A circle had formed. This wasn't just a fight, it was the fight. "I'm not afraid of you," Mandla sneered. "You're just a broken boy pretending to be a man. You run. That's your specialty, isn't it? Run from Malaika. Run from the child. Run from your damn life." Tendai's face twitched, his vision blurred. "Malaika is not your family," Mandla spat. "She's mine now. And that child has no father, so I'm stepping up to be his father." The last line shattered something inside Tendai. With a roar, he swung a wild punch and missed. The crowd erupted. Mandla struck back, knuckles cracking against Tendai's jaw. Tendai staggered, but didn't fall. He came back with a savage hook to the ribs. Mandla grunted, breath stolen, but didn't stop. They were beasts now. No technique, no discipline, just fury and heartbreak, pounding into each other with bare fists and bleeding souls. Blow after blow. Grunts. Shouts. Gasps. Tendai tackled him to the ground. "That's my family," he screamed, fists raining down. Mandla twisted, flipped him. "Then maybe you should have stayed." Trainers rushed in, shouting, trying to separate them. But it was no use, they were past talking, past reason. This was war, and neither of them was walking away whole. It had been months since the Centaurs had come, since they had demanded her son. Nandi hadn't been the same. She spent most days in bed, curtains drawn tight. She didn't eat much, she barely spoke. Sometimes she just lay there with one hand on her round belly, feeling the twins shift inside her, tears sliding down her cheeks. Django would tell her stories of how he was solving the rebellion and updates on what was going on. But she just nodded, completely zoned out. She felt like an empty vessel, like nothing was hers anymore. Her daughter had been promised to the Guardian. Now her son was to be given to the Centaurs. She felt cursed. She felt like she had nothing left. There was a soft knock at the door. She didn't even lift her head. "Come in," she whispered. It was Diallo. He stepped in quietly, shutting the door behind him. In his hand, he held fresh lilies and a basket filled with a variety of fruits. Their scent filled the dark room. "You know me too well," she said with a small, sad smile. He didn't smile back. He set the flowers in a vase near her bed and sat down beside her. "How are you holding up?" he asked gently. Nandi closed her eyes. Her voice shook. "I don't know what to do, Diallo. I'm lost. I try to be strong, but I keep breaking. I feel like I'm just an incubator, like nothing belongs to me anymore. My own children aren't even mine." Her shoulders shook. Diallo took her hand. He didn't say anything right away. He just held it. After a while, he lay down beside her, shoulder to shoulder, both of them staring up at the ceiling in the dark. He didn't know what to say. He couldn't tell her to run away. There was nowhere to go. There was no escaping this. They were quiet for a long time. Then Nandi turned her head slightly. Her voice was small. "Diallo, why did you never get married?" He shut his eyes. He hated that question. "I think you know why." "No, I don't," she said. Her voice was raw. "Please, tell me. Talk to me. At least let me think about your problems instead of mine." He sighed. The words felt like they were stuck in his throat. Finally, he spoke. "I just never found the right one." Nandi let out a bitter laugh. "Never found the right one? That's crazy. At least now you have Kwame. At least now you have a son." Diallo was quiet. Then he shook his head. "I can't claim him, not openly, you know that?" She went silent. Diallo turned to face her. His voice was so low she almost didn't hear it. "Since you asked me about family, about legacy, I've been thinking about it a lot." She swallowed. "Yes?" He was silent again. Then his voice cracked. "I don't know how to ask you this." Nandi blinked. "What? What is it? You can ask me anything." Diallo's eyes burned, his voice trembled. "Is he mine?" She froze. "Who?" she whispered, even though she knew. "Tatenda," he said. "Is Tatenda my son?" The air went cold. Nandi's heart slammed in her chest. She couldn't speak. Diallo looked at her with pleading eyes. "I didn't know how to ask you before. I didn't want to. But I need to know." She started shaking. Tears spilled over. "Why would you ask me that, Diallo?" "Because I remember," he said. His voice broke. "I remember what we did back then, when we were young, and then when I came back." She covered her face with her hands. They both remembered. They were young when it first happened. Their parents had been killed in a hunt. They were so alive, and the next moment, they were gone. They were orphans now, brother and sister, alone. The hunters took care of them, but they clung to each other. They slept on the same bed. At night, she would cry until she choked on her own sobs. He would hold her, whisper that it would be okay even when he didn't believe it. He cried too. He never told her that, but he did. One night, she woke up from a nightmare, screaming his name. He wrapped his arms around her. She clung to him so tightly that it hurt. "I don't want to lose you too, Diallo," she sobbed. "You won't," he whispered back, voice shaking. "I'm here. I'll never leave you." She kissed his cheek, then his lips. He froze, but he didn't push her away. He kissed her back. He didn't know why. When it was over, they lay side by side, not facing each other. Neither spoke for a long time. They were ashamed, they were terrified, but they were also relieved, because for one moment, the world had gone quiet. There had been no grief. It continued. Each time, they pretended it hadn't happened, but something had changed. When she smiled at him, it was softer. When he spoke to her, it was gentler. They sat closer at meals. They finished each other's sentences. The hunters whispered about them, called them strange, said they were too close, they didn't care, they only had each other. But time passed. Nandi fell in love with someone else, Jengo. Diallo was angry. He joined the army. Diallo didn't go to the wedding. He couldn't. He left before they could see the pain in his eyes, before they could see that he loved her, not like a brother, When he returned years later, she had a child, Nala. He was a good uncle. He tried to be. But when they saw each other again, it was like that old wound opened up. They shared wine one night, too much. They talked about their parents, about being alone. And in that moment of remembering, they forgot everything else. They kissed, and they didn't stop. It only happened once, but it was enough. When she got pregnant again, she never told him. She never told anyone, not even herself. She tried to bury it. She tried to forget. But she couldn't. And neither could he. Now, years later, lying on her marital bed in the dim room, both of them older and wiser, Diallo turned to her and finally asked the question he'd carried for so long. "Is he mine?" The words hung there like poison. Nandi's eyes went wide. She felt the blood rush to her face. Her breathing picked up. She pushed herself up on the bed with shaking arms. "How dare you?" she hissed. Diallo flinched, but didn't look away. She pointed at him, her hand trembling. "How dare you even ask me that after all these years? Nandi, it was a mistake," she shouted. Her voice cracked with rage and shame. "It was a long time ago. Why would you bring this up now? Why, Diallo?" He swallowed hard. His face twisted in pain. "Because I need to know." "You don't get to know," she spat. "You don't get to just ask that. You don't get to make me relive it." Her chest heaved. Her hands pressed against her belly as she tried to calm herself, but the tears were coming too fast. It was wrong. All of it. We should have never... She choked on her own sob. Diallo's voice was shaking too. "Nandi, I didn't mean..." "Shut up!" she screamed astole. "Stop talking. Stop reminding me. It was your fault. You were older. You should have stopped it. But you didn't." Diallo was speechless. He couldn't move. Nandi's whole body trembled, then she gasped. Pain sliced through her. Her eyes went wide. She clutched her belly. "Diallo," she whispered, horror filling her face. "Diallo." "Something's wrong." He scrambled forward. "What?" "Nandi. What is it?" "My water," she stammered, her voice small and terrified. "My water broke." She let out a scream as another wave of pain hit her. Diallo's eyes went wide in panic. "Help!" he bellowed. He turned toward the door, slamming it open. "Get the healers now!" He turned back to her, grabbing her hand. She was sobbing, the pain crashing through her. "It's too soon," she cried. "It's not time. It's not supposed to be time yet." "Hold on," he whispered, voice shaking. "Just hold on." She screamed again, her nails digging into his arm. People rushed in, healers in white coats, shoving him aside. She was wheeled onto a stretcher. Diallo followed them down the hall, shouting instructions, shouting for them to hurry. Nandi's vision blurred with tears. She twisted her head on the pillow, eyes searching the crowd. She saw Django. He was running beside her, grabbing her free hand. "I'm here, my love," he panted. "Nandi, I'm here. I've got you. I've got you." But she barely heard him. Her heart felt like it was breaking into 1,000 pieces. Because she knew. She knew everything was falling apart. She felt like a passenger, watching her own life crash in slow motion. The walls blurred. She sobbed so hard she could barely breathe. "Please," she prayed silently. "Please, Goddess, just take me. End this. I can't do it anymore." She screamed as another contraction ripped through her, and the stretcher disappeared down the hallway. Django held her hand until he couldn't keep up. And Diallo watched, his heart in his throat, his own tears falling freely. Everything they had tried to bury was coming out now. Everything was breaking, and none of them could stop it. And that, my dear tribe, brings us to the end of Season 4 of our Snake People vs. Hunters series. It has been quite a journey, and I've truly enjoyed having you along. The savannah wouldn't be the same without you here with me. You're the reason it all feels worthwhile. Thank you for indulging my wild, sometimes crazy stories. I genuinely appreciate it. In you, I've found my tribe. Together, we have laughed, we have cried, and this final episode delivered the storm we were waiting for. The snake people gather determined and deadly. Using tunnels they carved with their own hands, they slip beneath the castle walls. The battle erupts, brutal, unrelenting. The hunters fight with everything they have, but the snake people's fury threatens to overwhelm them. And then the Centaurs arrive. Led by their mighty leader, Barakan, they charge into the fray, green glowing weapons flashing in the chaos. They turn the tide and defeat the snake people, but they demand the sacrifice they were promised. Naomi stands in shock as that grim bargain is revealed. Meanwhile, across time and space, Tendai finally returns home, but there is no celebration waiting for him. Instead, he faces hard questions from Cabo, the head of the hunters, the head of his house, who accuses him of disrespect and abandonment. Zoro lies, claiming Sia has been untethered. Cabo is saddened by the news, and in her quiet room, Malaika waits. There's a knock on the door. She expects Mandla, her heart even dares to hope. But it is Tendai who stands there. They talk. Malaika asks him to leave. An unwed woman cannot linger alone with a man. People will talk, she says. Tendai's blood boils. He walks straight to Mandla. The confrontation is fierce. Neither yields. Both are strong. Both are determined. And both love Malaika. But there is no clear victor, only two warriors refusing to back down. And in the present day, Nandi struggles with a dark cloud of depression. She worries about the little ones growing inside her, children who are not truly hers, but promised to others. Diallo tries to comfort her, but his question worsens the situation. He asks if Tatenda, her son with Django, is really his. The question breaks something in her. She goes into early labor, fear and pain swirling in the room. Django rushes to her side, desperate to help. But the secret they share threatens to unravel everything. What will happen next, we'll just have to wait and see. Until then, stay wild, stay curious, and stay ready for what's to come. Want to support the channel and become an even bigger part of our tribe? You can join for as little as the cost of a coffee each month. Your support helps me continue creating the content you love, but of course, just having you here is already more than enough. Thank you for being part of this journey. A warm and heartfelt thank you to all the amazing tribe members who have chosen to join and support this incredible journey. Your belief in this channel means the world to me, and I'm so glad to have you along for the ride. And as always, thank you for watching our story, and we hope you enjoyed it. What lessons did you draw from this story? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and be part of the tribe. Thank you for watching The Tales of the Savannah. We will see you next time in the Savannah.